Peace. Peace reflections. If you're watching this, one thing you should know is every time when I hop on the camera, to be honest with you, it just be random, like, I don't know what to talk about. Well, this shit ain't random, because, I came out to Hermosa Park and shit, and I planned to record, but what to record about wasn't planned. But I guess I'll just talk about what's going on in my life right now. I guess I could say that. So lately it's been crazy. Like 4 or 5 months ago, this was back when I was in school, I was researching something about food and nutrition and whatnot, right? And then this video by Master Teacher popped up, and it was the one when he took us to the market, right? And I was watching it, and to be honest with you, the beginning, because this was my first time watching it, right? So I was just like, hell, what the fuck is this? Because there was just all these niggas, right? They were just all walking in. And I was kind of laughing. I was like, what is this? But I don't know, I saw the time and I was like, man, this video takes too long, because you know how it is. My mind was trained to want instant gratification, right? So I didn't want information that was too long or whatever. I wanted it quick, So I looked at it and I was like, what the fuck? But I just kept watching, the shit he was saying, that shit was true, bro. And I was like, damn, for real. And then I watched the whole video and I was like, damn, this nigga's smart as fuck. Yeah, what he was saying was resonating with me, right? So I went on to the next and the next and the next. The second video I watched from him, the second video I clicked was the one on how to control your mind. I probably just watched 2 minutes of that shit and I hopped out and I was like, nah. But then I just kept on watching his videos because that shit resonated with me and I was like, truth. And then I don't know, you could say 3 months later, after that, 4 or 3 months, I started applying this shit to my life. I was too woke, bro. I was too lit. I was too woke to be doing all that shit I was too woke to be doing shit that niggas who is sleeping do. I was too awake to be snoring, So yeah, I started applying it to my life without any hesitation. There was no resistance with me. There was nothing telling me, don't do it. I knew I had to do this shit because I wasn't about hurting myself. I want the best for myself, So I did so. Stopped taking a shower. I stopped eating meat. I got cautious of the shit that was going into my subconscious, right? And I kept doing this, and I was talking to my mother back then, my Babylon mother, you could say, and I was talking to her about how I feel and shit. But it's crazy too, because last month, I think it was March to June 16, 15, was because the family I'm in, the family that I got logged into were Muslims, right? Well, I'm not a Muslim, they're Muslim. But what happened is, Ramadan, so they were assuming this shit, but I went along with it, but I had my reasons, I had my reasons, because I kind of felt because they did it, because it was they were saying that all the sins you did, in order for you to get forgiveness from God for the sins you committed throughout the year, there was this 1 month. 1 month out of the 12, it was June. It was March through June, and it was you had to fast all day. While the sun was up, you couldn't eat. Once the sun went down and the moon came up, you're allowed to eat. And we did this, we did this for, I think, about a month. And then the end, right? And at the end of it, well, after the last day, there's this thing, a celebration for what we did. That celebration is called Eid, or some shit, Eid. And what that was about technically was to celebrate that we made it out, or we made it through, or whatever. And like I was resistant, bro. Like, I was about that shit. I wasn't gonna let no one change my mind, because around this time, I was also starting like understand. Well, I was starting to understand. Like, I was really trying to understand that everything is in my mind, and I project this shit out. That I'm the only one who's in existence. There's other people around me. Those are my reflections, but like, I'm truly the only one in existence, right? So I started to get this shit, and I was like, and I started resonating with that, right? And what technically happened was, I started to resonate with it, and yeah, I did that. I applied it to my life, and like, there were oppositions, like they said there would be. But I always knew that this was my subconscious testing me. It's funny, because like, when you know that it's a test, well, think about it this way. At school, that is fucking weird. I think that it's more of a test when you don't know it's a test. Because at school, it's flipped around, right? Like, when you're unconscious of the work you're doing at school, like when they give you a paper to do and whatnot, you do it. You just do it. Like, you don't give a fuck, because there's not that much pressure. Whereas in a test, where it's like, nigga, you better get a fucking high grade in order for us to pass you. It's not like that. But yeah, so it's like flipped around. When you don't know it's a test, you just don't give a fuck, right? But when you know it's a test, there's pressure on your ass. But now, when you apply it to life, my life right now, like before, when I didn't know it was a test, I was just like, damn, how could these niggas do me like that? Like, how could you do me that dirty? And whatnot. Like, I thought I was your homie, and niggas did do me dirty and whatnot, but I mean, this was when I was like getting into master teacher and whatnot, right? Like, niggas would do me dirty, but I didn't really give a fuck. I was just like, whatever, who cares? But like, I didn't really understand it all the way, because like, I didn't give a fuck, but like, I still chill with them niggas, you know? So this is what happened. Like, the last month of school, I guess you could say, I was chilling with these chicks, Lisa and Veronica, right? And I was just walking with them. And these chicks, fucking, they're big mouths, bro. Like, all they like doing is talking shit about people. And what they do with you, they'll do to you, right? And we're just talking, and they're telling me, you know, that when your friend Carlos, that was one of my homies back then. So I was like, you know, your friend Carlos was talking shit about you. I'm like, damn, what do you say? So also, I used to be a fiend for the weed, bro. Like, I used to smoke non-stop or whatnot, right? So I would smoke, and my homie Carlos, my friend Carlos, my ex-friend, you could say, because I don't really want to fuck with that nigga no more. I'm not going to fuck with that nigga no more. I'm going to keep it real with them, bro, like, straight up. I'm going to keep it real with all these niggas, because, like, on God, I'd rather be by myself. I mean, to an extent, because I love the company of others, right? But I'm not gonna suppress my morals and principles for anyone else. I'm not gonna get out of my comfort zone and do something else that I wouldn't do for, like, say, as partying, smoking, getting high. Like, I'm not gonna do that for anyone else. I'm gonna stand my ground, dog. Like, I'm gonna be like, fuck that shit. I'm good, bro. I'm out of here. Because I know how to enjoy life. I know how to enjoy myself, you could say. So, yeah. But, yeah. I used to be a fiend for the weed. Smoke every day. Couldn't stop that shit, right? But now, when I look at it, I'm like, I feel like that happened for a reason. Like, because the type of person I am is, if someone, before I did drugs, right? If someone wants to tell me, oh yeah, don't do drugs, those are bad for you. But then, someone who does do drugs is like, bro, this shit good. Me, not knowing if it is good or not, someone told me it's bad. But someone, right, that was external of me, like, I didn't experience it. They experienced it and they're probably telling me that it's bad. But like, I guess the way I was thinking was, well, the way I do think is, if someone tell me not to experience this because of this and that, it also depends on the situation, like what it is, right? But like the drug thing, right? The drugs thing was like, this was just weed, is what I say. And there were like two sides to it. One was saying that weed was bad, and the other was saying weed is good, right? So I fucking tried that shit. And I smoked. Man, it's crazy when, like, it's crazy because my thoughts aren't that organized. But I keep it organized, nigga. Yup. So, fuck it, I'm just gonna go back to where I was at, because I was kind of like curving away from the past that I was on. So I'm just gonna go back to the past that I was trying to